NASA announces more delays of the Artemis mission. Blue Origin is getting closer to the launch of New Glenn. And Jared Isaacman may become the next NASA administrator. I'm your host Connor, and welcome to another episode of Spaceflight News, where we'll get to all that and more. So without further delay, let's dive right in. This week brought a flurry of activity at Starbase, as SpaceX pushes forward in preparations for Starship's next big test flight. Roofing materials were installed on the office buildings, and a safety net was added to Tower 2, enhancing site safety for ongoing operations. Meanwhile, over at the orbital launch mount, tests were conducted, potentially including clamp tests and pipe purgings, ensuring everything is ready for the upcoming launch campaign. A major highlight was the relocation of Booster 14, B14, to the launch site, where it now sits parked at the tower. This move signifies critical progress as the team works on refining procedures and infrastructure. Speaking of infrastructure, work continues on Mechazilla and the tank farms, two key systems that will play vital roles in Starship's eventual reflights. From stacking to fueling, these upgrades are all part of gearing up for the next orbital attempt. Over at Star Factory, keen-eyed observers spotted a brand new nose cone under construction. Even more intriguing was the sight of a robotic welder in action, showcasing SpaceX's innovative approach to automation and rapid manufacturing. The pace at Starbase is relentless, and with each update, SpaceX moves closer to revolutionizing access to space. Stay tuned, Starship's next chapter is shaping up to be as ambitious as ever. Now, onto news this week. Big news from Washington. Jared Isaacman, billionaire entrepreneur, private astronaut, and the man behind SpaceX's Inspiration 4 and Polaris Dawn missions, has been nominated as NASA's new administrator by President-elect Donald Trump. If confirmed, Isaacman could redefine the trajectory of American space program. Isaacman isn't your average nominee. He's no stranger to spaceflight. In fact, he conducted the first ever private spacewalk and led two groundbreaking missions aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon. With his deep ties to commercial spaceflight and a sharp critique of traditional defense contracting, Isaacman has vowed to passionately pursue the untapped potential of commercial space capabilities. But, like any game-changing move, it's not without controversy. Critics have raised eyebrows over Isaacman's close association with SpaceX's own Elon Musk, questioning whether his leadership might favor one company too heavily. On the flip side, others argue his commercial-first perspective could energize NASA's partnerships and fuel more innovation. Here's why this all matters. If Isaacman brings his ambitious, risk-taking ethos to NASA, we might see faster progress on everything from lunar exploration to deep space missions. However, the balance between private sector dynamism and public accountability will be key. Meanwhile, NASA's Artemis program has hit yet another speed bump. Artemis 2, the first crewed flight of the Orion spacecraft, has been delayed to April 2026, a full 7 months behind schedule. Artemis 3, which aims to finally return humans to the lunar surface, is pushed back to mid-2027. The culprit? Erosion issues with the Orion heat shield. During Artemis 1's uncrewed mission, NASA discovered cracks and material loss caused by gases building up during re-entry. Although the team is adjusting re-entry techniques and planning modifications for future missions, these delays show just how tricky pioneering new technologies can really be. Despite the setbacks though, NASA remains committed to the Artemis program. Leaders reaffirmed their dedication to the current architecture, even with a new administration looming that might reassess these plans. What does this all mean for spaceflight? While delays are frustrating, they also reflect the complexity and the stakes of human space exploration. Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin are getting closer to a major milestone, the first launch of the New Glenn rocket. Bezos revealed this week that they're in the final stretches, with only launch license standing between them and liftoff. While he avoided giving a specific date, the confidence in his statement signals that this long-anticipated launch could happen sooner rather than later. New Glenn's success is crucial for Blue Origin, as it aims to establish itself as a competitive force in the orbital launch market. With the possibility of NASA contracts and commercial payloads, this rocket could be a game changer in the industry. Now, Tough times for Boeing, as the company announced layoffs affecting 141 employees across Florida, including 47 positions at the Kennedy Space Center. While specific roles haven't been disclosed, Boeing stated that the cuts are part of the efforts to align with their financial challenges and prioritize key objectives. This comes at a critical time for the aerospace giant, which has faced setbacks in the Starliner program and broader competition from nimble commercial players like SpaceX. These layoffs could signal a reshuffling of resources to focus on regaining a competitive footing. SpaceX continues to soar, literally and figuratively. The company is reportedly offering insider shares in a tender deal that could value it at an eye-popping $350 billion US. This massive jump from its previous valuation of $210 billion earlier this year could make SpaceX the most valuable private company in the world. What's driving this? It's the company's unmatched record in launch cadence, Starship development progress, and the growing potential of Starlink as a global communication satellite and cash cow. If this valuation holds, it underscores just how pivotal SpaceX is in the new evolving space economy. Lockheed Martin is making strides in developing vertical solar arrays designed specifically for the Artemis missions at the lunar poles. These arrays can extend up to 20 meters high, capturing sunlight at the low angles characteristic of the moon's polar regions. The design recently passed key tests, positioning it as a promising candidate for lunar surface power generation. Lockheed's work is part of NASA's initiative that awarded contracts to multiple companies for innovative solar solutions. While the next steps in the program remain somewhat uncertain, these arrays could likely play a crucial role in establishing a sustainable lunar base. That's it for news this week. There's a lot happening in the spaceflight world, from bold new leadership at NASA to the technical challenges of lunar exploration. Keep watching the stars because space is only getting more exciting. Now, onto launches this week. China kicked off the week with the Long March 3B launch, carrying a top-secret payload. Details about the mission remain classified. China followed up with the Kuzhai rocket launch, placing an ocean-observing satellite into orbit. This satellite is expected to play a crucial role in monitoring the marine environments and supporting environmental research. SpaceX took to the skies with Falcon 9 launch from Cape Canaveral, deploying 24 Starlink satellites. Another Falcon 9 lifted off, this time from Vandenberg Space Force Base, carrying 20 Starlink satellites into orbit. SpaceX's rapid cadence shows no signs of slowing down. China launched yet another Long March rocket, this time deploying 18 low Earth communication satellites. These satellites will enhance China's growing communication network. The Indian Space Research Observation, ISRO, launched a PSLV rocket, carrying the innovative Proba 3 mission. This mission is unique, consisting of 2 spacecraft flying in precise formation to create an artificial solar eclipse for 6 hours. This remarkable setup will enable detailed studies of the sun's corona and other advanced experiments. Over in French Guiana, Arianespace's Vega C launched the Sentinel-1C satellite, which provides all weather, day and night radar imaging for monitoring land and oceans. It's part of the European Union's Copernicus program for Earth observation satellites. SpaceX has rounded out the day with another Falcon 9 launch from Cape Canaveral, this time carrying 23 Starlink satellites. 9 launches from 5 different nations highlights the pace and diversity of global spaceflight. From cutting-edge science missions like Proba 3 to the relentless expansion of Starlink, this week has showcased the incredible ambition and variety of modern space endeavors. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Spaceflight News. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like and comment. It really helps out the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. That's it for the news this week. There's a lot happening in spaceflight this world. That's it for news this week. Fuck, can't believe I said that.